Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. Just because your parents fight a lot, it doesn't mean that your family's gonna break up. Bill and Harriet fought a lot, and they almost broke up too, but they decided to stay together.
My name is Bill. I've been married to Harriet for almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years in a couple of weeks.
When Bill talks about things being smooth, I react immediately because today our life is not smooth at all. There's lots of noise, and most of the noise comes from children. Perhaps the reason that a lot of noise comes from our children is that we have programmed them to the point where they are leading a quote-unquote noisy, chaotic life, which calls for disruption, which takes away the peace that we had 20 years ago.
I'm not fond of hassling. This is one of my characteristics. I don't like things, I don't like noise, I don't like arguments. Because if I feel something, if I feel strongly about something, I should say what I feel, rather than say, okay, dear.
I wasn't happy with you. That was years before. The reason I went to see Stan, who was a psychiatrist, was because I had stopped smoking, and I was extremely unhappy, and I was extremely unhappy with you and the children and the house and everything.
Bill and Harriet don't sound very happy. How about their daughter Julia?
Well, we had a lot of fights, except we're getting cleared up now. They were just fights, like about school grades or about our rooms or things like that. They usually argue in their room and, like, the walls are, like, you could hear. I don't like it when they argue either, because from all the people that I know that are divorced, I don't want my parents to get divorced because I don't want to be on either one side or the other, because I love both my parents. I want to be with both of them together, the whole family together. None divorcees or dropouts or nothing like that. Well, I just don't want them to divorce or separate. I just want them to be together. And when they fight, it gets me the image that they're going to separate or something. I feel sad and mad. I feel sad because I don't want to, as I said before, I don't want to be on either side. I want to be together. And I feel mad because I don't want them fighting. Once in a while they get in a fight with a good reason for having a fight. They don't just pick up a fight. My mother says I won't be left alone. If they got separated or something like that, I'd probably go with my mother, but I really don't want to live that way. I want to live with the whole family. I think others have broken up for only two reasons. I can think of one, either the father or the mother of a child has either gone out with someone else of the opposite sex, or they just don't get along with each other that well. If it has to do something with all the kids, then I would feel ashamed or guilty. If it had to do with me or Chew, my dog, I would. I really don't have any feelings because I don't think that I'm mostly all the cause of them breaking up, if they do break up. I'll have a little guilt, but I won't have as much as like my brothers or my father, my mother, or something like that. For my mother and father, for instance, we have been having quite a few arguments in the past, but hardly any in this past 2, 3, 4 weeks. We just talk it out, and that's probably what's helping us, that we're talking it out instead of fighting and yelling it out, and we're resolving it better.
Julia's brother Charles is worried too.
I feel caught between two poles, I guess you could call it that. One side says, do what your mother says. One side says, do what your father says. And they're both disagreeing, so it's doing two opposite things. It's hard. Well, you want to listen to one parent and do it their way. and you want to listen to the other parent and do it their way. And you've either got to do one or the other. And you want to please both of them, but it's impossible because they disagree on how to do it. So it's hard to do what both of them want and still, keep both of them satisfied, happy. Well, sometimes I think my father's right, and sometimes I think my mother's right.
And I'll say another technique is listening to them. Very often we don't listen to people. We don't listen to anybody. People today don't listen to other people. I'm not talking about hearing them, I'm talking about listening to them. And then understanding what it is they're trying to say, and this goes with children too. If you listen to them, then you can discuss something with them and reach a conclusion or not reach a conclusion, but at least you've shown that you do care just by listening. I think that's very important because today everyone is rushing around. Certainly both of us are. Now we have to teach the children that we will listen to them. They also have to learn to listen to us, to hear what we say and interpret it, digest it, and do something with it.
You have to let them know what you expect from them.
My attitude is completely different today, although I still know that I could go any place and do anything and survive by myself. I can survive without him or anyone else, which is very good for me to know. It doesn't mean I want to. It just means that I can.
I think what Harriet meant is that she didn't need me as much because she saw that she could rely on herself.
What took place was the fact that, again, as I have to say, I married a man who has a lot of wisdom, a lot of beauty, and the ability to want to change and grow and develop within himself. And he decided, after we discussed it at great length, after many fights, a lot of tears, that he would do something about it. He would try to help himself, and at the same time I said I would, if he were willing to do that, I would compromise a little bit in my attitude and go along with him as long as he tried to do something to change this particular image that I just couldn't live with anymore. And he said he would, and he did. He did it beautifully. It's unbelievable how he's done it. Well, he went for help. I went with him. We talked. He learned to hassle. He learned to make decisions. He learned to not to worry if I blew up or stamp my little foot.
And I think the biggest asset that we had going for us is that we wanted the marriage to stay together, and we were willing to work to keep it together. We didn't give up.
Why not stay together? Well, the first thing they have to establish is, do they want to stay together? Do they really want to stay with this other person and share their bed and share their home and share their feelings? And if they do want to share feelings and they do want to stay together physically, then to me there's no way that they can't learn how to communicate.
But the most important thing that they must share is that they must both parties must want very badly to stay together, and they must decide that there is some basis, for continuing together.
But then I said to myself, well, what do you want? I found that what I was in looked very hopeless, but it was almost like a challenge that I could make it better. And I didn't want to be in another situation at that time. I wanted to see if I could make this grow.
If that vinegar don't flow, Papa's gonna buy you a cotton bowl. If that cotton bread turns over, Papa's gonna buy you a doggy named Rover. If that dog named Rover don't bark, Papa's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart falls down, still be the sweetest